Alright, y'all, welcome to another quick snippet of Zennie's TNT Kitchen, what we're eating today. So today on the menu we decided to make some homemade burgers, but as you can see, of course I have to go the extra route and do things, a little extra step. So we are making fresh green seasoning, Trinidad green seasoning, to go inside our minced meat or ground beef. So of course, we have the staple shadow benny, chives. I didn't put any onion this time. I did put green onion, pepper, garlic, parsley, and I just decided to give it a little kick with a little added flavor, and I added some cilantro. Of course, my lime and some vinegar for stability, and of course that hot scotch bonnet pepper. Don't judge, all you. So all that is going to go in. We're going to pulse it up. This time I wanted it more chunky than I did watery, especially for this recipe. So there I am adding the lime, just to keep the vibrancy, not only of the color, but to give it some stability. And just add a little bit of that flavor. So here I am pulsing it. You just want to pulse it for a little bit. Depending on how fine, chopped, diced, how you want it. It is all up to your preference. So I had to do it a couple of times to get it to where I wanted it to be. I actually added 2 cupfuls of pure distilled vinegar. I went in with some sea salt instead of some kosher salt, some black pepper, and that is going to give it some added taste. And there you have it. It took a few more tries to get it to the consistency that I wanted it to be, but here it is now, and now I'm going to store it in a jar, which will be tightly covered, and it will stay for about 2 weeks. Will it last 2 weeks? No, because it's only a little bit, but in general, it will last about 1.5 to 2 weeks in your refrigerator if stored properly. Last but not least, because I didn't want to change too much of the consistency inside the blender, I went ahead, because I don't have fresh pimentos, I went ahead and added that Bertie's pimento sauce inside the bottle. So now we're going to prep the hamburger. So I have some Caribbean flavors, succulent burgers, some tamari soy sauce, the succulent flavor, seasoning, some Worcestershire, some A1 oregano, some chives, and I added all of that to my seasoning. I added a splash of something to amplify the flavors, something that we Trinidadians know well. Maybe I might include that in my recipe. And then I went ahead and mixed all that together, folded it in to each other. I added a little bit more because, again, here at Zennie'S TNT Kitchen, we like not just flavor but color. So I added a little bit more seasoning, not just for flavor but for the color as well. I wanted to see my seasonings inside of there. So we went ahead and just folded everything in and got it prepped. I added some more Worcestershire sauce just to bind it and hold it together. Then I added some freshly diced onion, some white onions, and now I just now I'm just forming the patties. So I divided up into a little bit bigger than my hand size golf balls, and just form it into a ball and flatten it out. And the thickness, again, is all up to your preference. I like it relatively thick because it is going to shrink. And I decided to, this is the first time cooking on this cooking utensil that I'm going to use. I decided to use my tower. Use what you have. You know what I mean? Use what you have. So I wanted to see how well was it going to be, of course it's like a griddle, so was it really going to stand up to making hamburgers? I think it did. So there is my tower. This brought me back home in Trinidad. You know, you must have a tower in your house because you make everything. They made do with what they had, right? So that was also your first stovetop griddle. It was used to make roti. My grandmother sometimes would, you know, toast bread on there, you know, whatever her heart desired. That sometimes she would use the tower for that. And it is just a big piece of steel, aluminum. I don't believe that. No, that's not aluminum. It's steel. It's very heavy. So I've never had the experience of it actually falling on my toe, because I wouldn't be, you know, wearing boots or shoes or anything, because my toe would be gone, right? Because it's that heavy. But I've had it actually, you know, like clip my foot. So be very careful, because it is a very, sorry, it's not steel, it's a cast iron. Please pardon that. It's cast iron. So there I am. I added some salted butter. As I heated up my tower, I added some salted butter, and then I also used a little bit of that avocado oil. I am on an avocado oil kick, y'all, because, you know, it seems to be much healthier, and I just like how the flavor combines with the food that I'm making. So I dressed my hamburger with avocado oil on the bottom, let that cook, and I added some to the top. I decided to just, you know, let me take it restaurant style and, you know, cover up, let the steam actually cook on the inside as well. The first patty, I forgot to add ice into it to keep the moisture inside of the meat. So, you know, I just trapped it underneath my pot cover here. But as you will see as the video goes on, I will add ice to the other patties that I am making. If you guys can only smell the flavors in this. So for each side I did a couple minutes. I kept flipping it, which probably I wouldn't recommend. I would just let it rest and let it do its thing, and not flip it so much next time. But as you go, as you learn. So as you can see here, I am adding that ice. That ice is definitely going to help with, you know, keeping that moisture, giving you a tender, juicy hamburger. So we are finished prepping, making our hamburgers, and now I am just going to grill my hamburger buns just for a little bit and start assembling the hamburger. It was worth your while, I'm telling you. Even though it took the extra step to make that green seasoning, I know it will actually pay off in the end, because it's that little special touch that counts. And here we have it, our dinner for tonight. Homemade hamburger patties with some vegetables, mixed vegetables, and my son wanted cheese on his. Voila, let me tell you, the taste is divine. Have a good night.